In this video I will tell you what all the accessories are in the Sailor Piece game on Roblox, how to get them and what they give. Subscribe, hype, like, and watch until the end to understand this guide properly. If you want to push your character past normal stat limits in Sailor Piece, you need to look beyond simple stat points, because sooner or later you hit the cap, and that is where accessories become essential. I will tell you every important accessory, what it gives, and which boss you need to farm so you can build exactly what you want without wasting hours. Accessories drop from bosses and they boost your damage, your defense, and in many cases your damage reduction, which is huge for late game survival. Starting with Legendary Tier, Gojo Blindfold gives 25% damage and 40% defense, and drops from Gojo at a 5% rate. Saber Armor gives 20% damage, 35% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Saber at 5%. Yuji Hair gives 22% damage, 30% defense, and 12% damage reduction from Yuji at 5%. Moving into Mythical Tier, Sukuna Collar gives 30% damage and 45% defense from Sukuna at 4%. Jinwoo Cape gives 30% damage, 40% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Jinwoo at 3%. Santa Hat gives 20% damage, 30% defense, and 5% damage reduction from Christmas Island quests. Ragna Sigil gives 40% damage, 45% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Ragna at 2%. Jinshur Blindfold gives 35% damage, 30% defense, and 17% damage reduction from Jinshur at 2.5%. Aizen Hiyori gives 40% damage, 50% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Aizen at 4%. Shadow Cloak gives 45% damage, 60% defense, and 15% damage reduction from the Shadow Dungeon boss at around 0.85 to 2.5%. Alucard Coat gives 37% damage, 40% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Alucard at 3%. Divine Will gives 50% damage, 70% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Strongest in History at roughly 1.25 to 2%. Gojo Hiyori gives 47% damage, 65% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Strongest of Today at around 1.25 to 2%. Hollow Mask gives 40% damage, 50% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Ichigo at 2%. Slime Wings give 55% damage, 75% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Rimuru at around 1.25 to 2%. Valentine Heart gives 25% damage, 35% defense, and 10% damage reduction from Cupid quests. Heart Wings give 42% damage, 55% defense, and 15% damage reduction from the Valentine Merchant for 75 hearts. Ultimate Wings give 50% damage, 65% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Madoka at 1.5%. Gilgamesh Armor gives 60% damage, 80% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Gilgamesh at about 1.15 to 1.8%. Anos Outfit gives 62% damage, 85% defense, and 10% damage reduction from Anos at roughly 0.75 to 1.2%. Monarch Armor gives 65% damage, 90% defense, and 15% damage reduction from Shadow Monarch in the Double Dungeon at around 0.75 to 1.5%. For pure endgame power, Monarch Armor currently has the highest overall stats, but Anos Outfit, Gilgamesh Armor, and Slime Wings are also top tier picks. If you are mid-game, Gojo Blindfold and Yuji Hair are much easier to obtain and still very strong. You can also enchant accessories at the enchant NPC in Shibuya Station using specific materials that depend on the rarity of the accessory. Higher rarity items require rarer materials. Once enchanted, equip them and your overall power jumps significantly, especially in high-level boss fights and dungeons.